Friends, it gives me great pleasure in inviting you to this series of lectures that we are conducting as part of the Chetana series, Good Practices in Higher Education. It gives me immense pleasure to invite Dr. Hasmukh Adhya to present today's lecture on stress management. This lecture is being live streamed on all the social media platforms of UGC. Some of the vice chancellors have joined in this Zoom platform, but thousands of others are watching this program through our live streaming on our social media platforms. The previous lecture, which we held a few days ago on the importance of establishing research and development cells in universities, attracted about 14,000 people watching our program as it was live streamed. Today, Dr. Hasmukh Adhya will be speaking on stress management. As you know, Dr. Adhya was earlier the Finance Secretary and Revenue Secretary in Government of India. He has a brilliant academic background. He's a gold medalist from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. He is the key person behind the implementation of GST, and he is known for his impeccable integrity. Initially, we thought that we would request Dr. Adhya to speak on the economy of our country. But however, later we came to know that he has a PhD in yoga. So I'm sure today's lecture on stress management is going to be very, very interesting. Friends, as you know, every day during the course of 24 hours, the neuroscientists say that we get about 65,000 thoughts in our mind. But what is special about these thoughts is that they are not unique thoughts. There are only a few number of thoughts, but they repeatedly occur in our mind. And most of these thoughts, these negative thoughts, they either focus on the uncertain future, something may happen, so that fear is constantly there when we think about future, or these negative thoughts may revolve around the past. The difficulties that we went through, the insults that we went through, the failures that we went through, they keep bothering us. And in the process, we do not focus on the present. And that is what causes all kinds of stress in our mind. And when stress is there, typically we do not respond to the situations. We react to the situations, and that aggravates the condition of our mind further. And this will eventually affect us both psychologically and also physically. Therefore, it is extremely important that in today's times, for all of us, learning how to manage our stress is very, very important. So with those initial comments, I request Dr. Adhya to make his presentation.
Thank you, Professor Jagdish Kumar, and my pranam to all of you who are associated with the field of education. All of you are very lucky that you have chosen a career which is also a social service. Contributing to the field of education is something which is very, very important and noble profession. I have been a career bureaucrat all my life, but my heart is always with education. Empowering our youth, making them strong and powerful, and creating leaders out of the students, that's always been a fascination for me. And I'm glad that I'm able to address all of you on this platform. Friends, technology has made a great difference to the education field. Today's class is a proof of how, with the help of technology, we can reach wider mass of people. In one lecture, one class, I'm able to address so many of you, which is a wondrous thing. Friends, it looks to me that Professor Kumar and the Government of India Education Department wants all of you, the educational contributors, to be free from all the stress. And that's why they've selected today's topic very, very thoughtfully. I will try my best to explain to you the genesis of stress, what is the mechanism which goes behind it, what are the causes of stress, and finally, I will end up giving you some practical tips on removing stress. So you will have a clear-cut take home, some kind of a, you can take something solid with you when we end the class today. So I will upload the presentation first and so that we can systematically understand this topic. Just give me a second. Upload, please. Go to the next one. Yeah. Okay. Go to the second one. Okay. Friends, before I start, let's have some humor in the classroom.
Sir, your slides are not moving.
Slides are not moving.
Yes.
Are you on the first slide, cover slide, or the second one?
Cover slide.
Huh?
We are on the cover slide.
Cover slide only. Okay. Yes. Just 1 second. Huh? Can you see the slide which is a grinder now in the picture?
Now we can see.
Okay, fine. So let's have some humor. Here is a typical cartoon which depicts the problem with the stress. There is a gentleman who is in the grinder and he has put himself willingly into the grinder and he thinks that there is stress in his life. Now, this is epitomizing what is happening in our life. We ourselves create a situation of putting ourselves in a grinder, and then we think that we are feeling the stress. So this cartoon typically represents that. Here is the second one. A lot of people give advice on how to beat the stress, but then stress doesn't go away. And so here is the final advice that somebody has given. Here is a stress reduction kit, which says that please affix this kit on the solid wall and bang your head here. How long? Till such time, repeat this till such time as you become unconscious. Because once you are unconscious, then no stress in life. So this is a helplessness people have in removing the stress. This indicates that. Coming to the third one, which is the best advice I like about stress. These are the top 10 stress management techniques, as you can see here. Eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep, eat, sleep. 10 top stress management techniques. Please don't try all of this. I'm only joking. This is only for laughter. Thank you. We come to the concept of stress. I'd like to start on a positive note. Stress is a nature's mechanism of allowing you to survive in a difficult situation. Whenever there is any challenging situation in your life, difficult situation in your life, the stress is triggered. Stress mechanism is triggered. And what happens when the stress mechanism is triggered? Suppose you are in a forest, you're going to see lion in the Gir forest, you've gone out of your jeep, you're standing there, and suddenly you find a lion very close by. So this is a dangerous situation, challenging situation. So what will happen is your mind will immediately direct various organs of the body to start functioning like this. So immediately our sympathetic autonervous system is activated. A set of powerful hormones are released. Our heart starts pumping extra blood. Our liver releases extra sugar in blood. Breathing becomes very fast. And we run. Even if you have a problem in the leg where you cannot even walk, but the nature has given you so much of power now in a difficult situation, in a challenging situation, when the lion is close to you, that you start running. So this is a nature's beautiful mechanism of survival in a dangerous situation. So it's a positive mechanism which God has created for us. But what should happen is, normally when the lion is gone, when you have boarded the jeep, when you come back to your guest house, the organs of your body become normal. The heart will become normal. Liver will start only releasing whatever is the amount of sugar required in blood. Your breathing will become normal. Everything will normalize. But what is happening is that in our life, there is no end to the challenging situations. One after the other, we feel a demanding situation in every day. So what are the persistent demanding situations that we are facing? In office, we have a pressure. These are the outside factors of challenging situation. In family, you may have some challenges. Somebody is sick, somebody is not well, somebody has to be got married, somebody has yet to be settled in life. Then you have a problem of finance. You overcommitted yourself and you are worried about the finance. Then there is a calamity, natural calamity like corona that you face. So these are the factors which never allow us to rest. One after the other, the challenging situations keep coming. But what is worse is not the outside situations. The worst stress creators are the internal situation. So we have set for ourselves ambition. I want to do this. I want to reach up to this point. I want to become a big man. Then we set for ourselves very lofty targets. And we just can't compromise any letdown, any come down in our targets. And then we are sensitive also. We are so fastidious in certain things that we cannot accept anybody else who is not like us. So these three are the main causes of stress: the internal ambition, the target, the sensitivity. These are very powerful instruments of creation of stress in our life. So please understand what are the causes of stress here. Moving forward, what happens when the stress comes? Obviously, when the liver is continuously oversupplying sugar in the blood, you will end up having diabetes. Obviously, when hormones are activated too often during the day, you will have blood pressure and your blood lipids will go up. You will have a tendency, because of stress, you will have a tendency to eat more and there'll be fat deposited in your heart. Some people take to smoking, some people take to drinking. So stress creates all these problems in our body. And we have to be very, very careful about it. We have to be aware of it. Some people do not even know that they are overeating because of stress. They are not aware of it. So we have to make them aware that the overeating habit is because of the stress, and we have to do something about the cause. And then only the overeating will go away. So if we don't want to face all these problems, we have to do something about it. When you notice somebody in your organization who is having stress, what are the psychological warnings you see in them? If you find a person is working too late and is working too much more, then probably he is suffering from stress. If somebody is obsessive about something, there are a lot of obsessions people have in life. There is something called compulsive OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. So a lot of obsessions people have. If you have a difficulty in making choices, should I do this? Should I do that? Again, it indicates you might be having stress. You may have excessive daydreaming. Then also you may be having stress. One of the indicators of stress is that you are confused. You forget the dates. There is a feeling of worthlessness. There is a difficulty in adjusting with others. There is a prolonged brooding. And there is a sudden reversal of usual behavior. Then these are the signs indicating that you might be having stress in your life. If you find an efficient worker suddenly becoming careless also, that also is an indication that he is undergoing some stress. So we have to identify our team also. We have to identify people in our team who are facing stress. Then only we can advise them, counsel them properly. If you suddenly find that a friendly person has become aloof all of a sudden, then also you might be facing stress. And when you start excessively mistrusting your associates, your friends, that also is an indication of stress. Because of that, you might have sudden increase in the drinking and smoking. You might have inappropriate anger. You might burst out to people in anger on small things, which is not a good thing. If you want to become a good leader, obviously your anger has to be under control. And if you are missing your appointments and deadlines, that also shows that you are under tremendous stress. So please remember these psychological symptoms of stress, which will give you some idea of what's happening in your life. The question is, can we stop this? Can we stop stress? And where is the solution? This is a $1 million question. What is the solution to stress? And friends, having studied yoga, I can tell you that the solution to stress is only available in yoga. Yoga is a multidimensional tool or a technique or a way of life which provides the final answer to the challenge of stress. It takes care of your physical, mental, emotional, and intellectual health. It's a multi-dimensional tool. It is the perfect tool to tackle stress. No other technique will work as better as this. This is a conviction that I'm having about yoga, and I'd like you to understand how we can now understand. Well, friends, as per the modern medical science, our existence is only divided between mind and body. There are only two factors in our life as per modern science, mind and body. But not so as per Indian philosophy of yoga. Our philosophy of yoga talks about 5 facets of our personality. This is called the theory of Panchakosha. So the outer layer of this Panchakosha is the Annamaya Kosha. It is a gross physical body that we all see. The next level, inside the physical body, there is a layer of prana, which is moving around in our 72 lakh nadis. And this prana forms a kosh of pranamaya kosh. Then we have something called manomaya kosh. Manomaya kosh is the emotional mind. Then comes the Vigyanmay Kosh. Vigyanmay Kosh is the intellectual side of our mind, the logical side of our mind. And then we have Anandamay Kosha. There is an inherent possibility of getting bliss from ourselves, and that is depicted by the experience of deep sleep every night. When we go into deep sleep, we experience the best of the bliss, and that is Anandamay Kosha. But the same Ananda, bliss, can be drawn when we are awake and in a meditative state. So these are the 5 facets of our personality as per the science of yoga. And I would request you to kindly be aware of this kind of a nuanced approach that our philosophy has regarding our personality. Do become aware of this and do try to teach this also to students, because students also require this kind of an approach. Having said that, we come to the stress. As you see, out of 5 koshas, the middle one is the Manomay Kosha, the mind, emotional mind. And that is where the stress begins. The stress originates in Manomay Kosha. And then it puts pressure on both sides. So on one side of Manomay Kosha is the Pranamay Kosha. So when you have a stress in your mind, your prana, your breathing becomes irregular. And when the breathing becomes irregular, you are prone to disease. When the breathing is irregular, when the pranic cycle is irregular, you are prone to disease. The Manomay Kosha will then put pressure also on the Vigyanmay Kosha, which is the logical side of our mind, and you will not be able to take rational decisions. If you have got a stress in your Manomay Kosha, you will not be able to take rational decisions. And then when you are not able to do this, you will also not feel the bliss. So your Anandamay Kosha is also affected. So the Manomay Kosha, which is in the center, affects on both the sides, and you will have a pressure. Having said that, what are the imbalances which are created in Manomay Kosha because of stress? Insomnia, you don't get sleep, you feel restless, you feel irritable, you are indecisive, and you find yourself into a sudden bout of emotional outburst, which is not called for. And others are actually surprised that how come you become so irritable and why you are having an outburst, emotional outburst. So this is the problem in Manomay Kosha when the imbalance takes place. What is mind? Mind is a conglomeration of thoughts. As Professor Kumar mentioned, the science also says that our mind is capable of having 60 completely unrelated thoughts in a minute. In a minute, our mind is capable of having 60 completely unrelated thoughts. It is because of this incessant flow of thoughts that our mind is always busy and we don't have a focus. A person who allows such incessant flow of unrelated thoughts coming to the mind will never be able to focus on anything. So, we have to control our mind. Now, control doesn't mean that you sort of just control it like you are controlling an elephant by tying the elephant. Not like that. We have to train the mind to obey us and to behave the way we want it. And friends, you would be surprised to know that unlike the popular belief that yoga asana or yoga is one of the alternatives of physical exercise, it is not. No definition of yoga ever tells you that yoga is for the body. All the definitions of yoga point to the fact that yoga is for mind, not for body. The benefit of yoga to the body is only incidental. Please remember this. Yoga is for mind, and the benefit of yoga to the body is only incidental. It is indirect through the mind. There is no direct benefit to the body. It is only through the mind that you get the benefit of yoga. For example, when your mind is completely stress-free and quiet, you will stop eating more. And so you will have a benefit of reducing your obesity. This is how yoga works on you. Yoga does not directly reduce the weight. It is not a physical exercise or a calisthenics or a gymnasium. Yoga works on your mind. And as you know, the problem in stress is that of mind only. Our mind has a problem in stress. So there is no better technique to control the mind other than yoga. I'll go through 2 or 3 definitions of yoga which are very popular. One of them is by Patanjali. In the second sutra of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he has given this definition of yoga: yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Yogas chitta vritti nirodha. Controlling the modifications of mind. Chitta vritti, modifications of mind, is yoga. Yoga is to get a mastery of your thoughts, to control the modifications in your mind, which are involuntary. So this is the first definition, Patanjali's definition, which points to the fact that yoga is for mind. The second definition, which is given in Yoga Vasishtha. Vasishtha was a guru of Rama, and the advice that Guru Vasishtha gave to Rama is documented in form of a book called Yoga Vasishtha. In this book, Vasishtha tells Rama the definition of yoga. He says, Yogaha mana prasamana upayaha. Yogaha mana prasamana upayaha, which means yoga is the skill to calm down the mind. It is a skill to calm down the mind. Because our mind is so jumpy, it is like a monkey. It jumps from one thought to the other. It goes into the past, goes into the future. It covers the areas which we need not even bother about. So we have to bring it, we have to make it slowly summon. We have to do summon of it. Prasamana. It is a skill to calm down the mind. We have to do prasamana of mana. So that is what is the yoga. We have a technique called Raj Yoga. Why is it called Raj Yoga? Some of you must be wondering, why is it called Raj Yoga? Do you know that? Who is the king of our existence? Mind. It is the mind which can make us a monkey, or mind which can make us a Buddha. So Raj Yoga is a technique of direct control of mind. That's why it is called Raj Yoga. Who is the Raja? Raja is mind. So yoga of mind, yoga of direct control of mind is Raj Yoga. Normally we have chanchalata in our mind. Our mind is a random mind. It keeps on jumping from one thought to the other. And there is no connection with the two thoughts. As given in this picture, you are suddenly thinking of some tablets, then you are thinking of wine, then you are again thinking of nature, then you again think of mother-in-law. Then you think of another monkey, donkey, whatever. This is called a chanchala mana. Chanchalata is there in the mind. It is like a Maggi noodle. Our mind is like a Maggi noodle as given in this picture. When you have a mind of Maggi noodle, your energy is completely wasted because your mind is not focused. So what we need to do, that the Maggi noodle needs to be straightened. Maggi noodle needs to be straightened. From chanchalta, we have to move to ekagrata, the concentration. And concentration of mind is a must for any success in life, as you know. You know very well how the students who have got better concentration, they score very well in the exam. And so also all of us, if we have been able to develop a better concentration in life, concentration in our mind, we can achieve better success. The very purpose of education is to develop this kind of concentration. Because with so many distractions in life today, including WhatsApp, we have a chanchal mind. Students also have got a chanchal mind. And we need to take them to yoga in order to develop concentration. So Raj Yoga is a very beautiful technique of controlling the mind. Raj Yoga is also alternatively called the Ashtanga Yoga. It is called Ashtanga Yoga because it has got 8 steps. 8 steps to it. So it starts with Yama, Niyama, do's and don'ts. Then Pratyahara. Then Asan, Pranayam. Then last 3 steps are internal steps. Dharana, Dhyan and Samadhi. So it is a 8-step process of Raj Yoga, which one must learn and one must try to implement in one's life. This is not a session when I can talk about the details of each one of the 8 steps, but I'm only pointing you to the possibility that there is a possibility of controlling our chanchal mind and making it focused. And we should channelize our energy. And that is why Raj Yoga is required. We have to go from the stage of chanchalata to ekagrata and dharana. What is chanchalata of mind? When a person has got multiple thoughts on multiple topics, as given here, you can see in the box, multiple thoughts on multiple topics simultaneously going on, then it is a chanchal mind. When you've got multiple thoughts, but on a single topic, then it is ekagrata. For example, if I'm trying to solve some scientific problem, scientific puzzle, then I'm thinking of various dimensions of this puzzle and I'm trying to solve that. So then it is called ekagrata. And from ekagrata, you can also develop dharana, in which there is only single thought. There is only single thought, one thought only. And that is the stage when most people try to go deeper into meditation. That is a dharana stage. So we have to develop our mind from chanchal to ekagra and then go into dharana. These are the steps for Raj Yoga. The basic purpose of Raj Yoga is to develop the capacity for meditation. Meditation is not a rocket science. Meditation is a state in which you try to focus on a single thought. I will repeat. Meditation is a process in which you try to focus on a single thought to the exclusion of all other thoughts. You train your mind in such a way that you can stop the flow of all other thoughts from your mind, and you can just have only a single thought. This is meditation. How to do meditation? I will talk about it after this slide. But what are the benefits of meditation? It controls the stress in your manomaya kosha. It develops concentration. It uses the power of subconscious mind, infinite power of subconscious mind. I would like to believe that each one of you who is sitting in this classroom is aware of the infinite power of your subconscious mind. It is a hidden treasure within us. We only use our conscious mind. But if we use the power of subconscious mind, sky is the limit. Even sky is not the limit. So this is what meditation gives you. There is also an emotional stability. There is less of anger, pessimism, etc. And you have an ability to keep cool in difficult circumstances if you've been meditating. Not a difficult thing to do. So the question is, how do you meditate? I don't have any slide on this, but I will give you the tips. The first thing, please choose a time of the day and a corner of the house where you would like to sit for meditation every day. For meditation, what is a must is the regularity. You can't just sit for one day in meditation and conclude that, no, it is not my cup of tea. I cannot do meditation. Meditation can be done by anybody and everybody. The question is that of persistence. So you have to select one corner of your house, which is a silent corner, nobody disturbs you. You have to keep all your devices in off mode, away from you. And if possible, every day you choose the same time to sit, so that there is a connection between the time and the place fixed in your mind with meditation. So if you have a corner already decided, the moment you sit in this corner of your house, your mind will start meditating because you established that connection. Having done that, you sit as long as you can, 5 minutes to begin with, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever is your capacity. You will find that initially you will not be able to sit in meditation even for 5 minutes. I know some people who can't even close their eyes because they are so scared of closing their eyes. Something will happen. But they have to learn to close their eyes and sit silently. You have to do nothing. Meditation is something in which no science is required. Nothing, no technique. It's a technique of just sitting silent. If you can sit silent for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all these benefits of meditation which I have counted will start coming into your life. Take it from me. It will happen. You have to do nothing. What will happen initially? Thoughts will keep coming. You will have random thoughts initially. Then more streamlined thoughts will come. But you are watching your thoughts because you're not speaking to anybody. You're not doing something about it. You're just watching the thoughts. You're watching your mind all the time. So allow the thoughts to come to your mind. Don't stop them. But be aware of it. You have to create awareness about the thoughts. Once you are aware of your thoughts, then over a period, the thoughts will go away. The very fact that you are aware, just as if the thief knows that the police is watching, police is all over the city, the thief will not come out. Similarly, if you watch your thoughts, thoughts will keep away then after some time. So just sit, do nothing initially. And that is the method of starting the meditation. Once you develop some amount of silence in your mind, then we can try other techniques, which we can talk about later. But Simple technique is to sit in silence at least once or twice in a day. If you can do that, you would be very, very powerful. And then finally, I would suggest to you the technique of pranayam. Whenever you feel the stress, just do a little bit of Nadi Suddhi pranayam or some kind of a Anulom Vilom. You know all the Nadi Suddhi pranayam. I'm not going to teach you the Nadi Suddhi pranayam now, but that's a very powerful technique of breaking the thoughts in your mind. So whenever there is a stress, and if possible, every single hour in your office, you can do it. 4 or 5 rounds of Nadi Suddhi pranayam while you are busy throughout the day. Spare some time and do the pranayam. Jagdish Kumar, you want me to stop? I've got 3-4 more slides. Let me take 5 minutes more. Is it okay, Jagdish?
Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. So now coming to the attitude to life, we also have to change our attitude to life in case if we have to stop the stress. Whenever the crisis situation comes, people have different responses. Somebody may say, oh my God, what has happened to me? Why me only? Why me? Why God is so unkind to me? Why am I having such difficult situation in life? That could be one response. The other person may say, this too will pass. Okay, there are so many incidents which happened in my life so far, and this one also will pass. This could be another attitude. The third one may say, so what? I have failed. I have been met with bad result, but so what? I will take it in my stride and I will move on. So you have to decide which response you want to take out of this, which will decide the level of your stress. Also, your attitude to work has to be like this. The moment you try to be attached to the results, then you have a stress in your life. Having decided your monitorable goals, you should just contribute your best. Do your karma properly and leave the result to God. It'll come. 99.9% good karmas result into good results. Good karma result into good results. But don't have too much attachment of result. Don't say, what if I miss my number one position? So what? You cannot be number one always. You can be number 2, number 3 also sometime. Everybody cannot be number 1 always. So you have to accept that. But you have to work hard to make it to number 1. But without any attachment to the result. A person is excessively attached to result when he cannot accept any adverse result. He is excessively attached to result. And then also while you're doing your karma yoga, you should share the fruits of karma. So whatever you got by way of knowledge, money, whatever credit, you should share it with others. Give credit to others. If you got more money, distribute it among poor people. This is the karma yoga attitude to life. And finally, you should develop a personality of a spiritual well-being, for which you will have to read some good books. You have to read some philosophy books for your spiritual well-being. You should be blissfully aware. You should be content in life. You should have happiness independent of objects. Please remember, there is no direct connection of happiness with wealth. One can have a lot of wealth and still be very, very miserable. Happiness has something to do with inner peace and blissful awareness. If you are an aware individual, nothing will disturb your mind. You will always be happy all the time. So to have happiness independent of objects, not to complain about the world. World will never change. We have to change ourselves. We have to change ourselves. World will never change. And finally, you should see the universe as a dance of divinity. Everywhere there is a divine element. Everybody is a divine person. And everywhere you find divinity in the किसी से कोई कंप्लेन नहीं है, कहीं किसी से कोई कंप्लेन नहीं है. जो भी मैं भुगत रहा हूं, it is my own doing. My own karmas are manifesting in my life. And so I don't want to complain against anybody. This kind of an attitude of life will result into your spiritual well-being. And finally, you will be out of stress. I stop here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very, very illuminating lecture. We will now take some questions from our colleagues. But before they ask the questions, I have received a couple of questions from my officer who is collecting the questions. One of the questions is, I am a college-going student. I am aware of the benefits of yoga, but I don't feel motivated enough to practice yoga and get benefited from it. So how do I make a start?
It's a question of creating need in you. As long as you are not suffering too much, you will not feel the need to go for yoga. But if you ask a person who is completely scorched, I'm using the word scorched by the stress, then there will have to be enough motivation for him to go for yoga. So maybe right now you are in a comfortable position and you probably don't think that yoga is so very important in your life. But then over a period, you will realize the importance of yoga. It is better that you become preventive in terms of adopting a yoga in your life. And then you will have a head start in your life. Without a crisis in your life, if you adopt yoga, you will have a head start in your life.
So the other question I have is, this is also from a student. He says he has certain habits and he can't just get rid of these habits, although they are harming him. So he's addicted to those habits. So can yoga help me in coming out of this addictive behavior?
It definitely can. The reason why we fall into bad habit is that we find that it gives us a kick, it gives us enjoyment, it gives us bliss. But do you know one thing? The bliss actually is part of our personality, Anandamay Kosha. It is right within us. What happens is that our mind becomes restless for some time. And in order to remove the restlessness of mind, we smoke or we take something. We enter into some kind of sexual behavior. And we think that we are being happy because of that. But once your mind was restless, and now after achieving a particular objective, your mind is quiet. So the real bliss comes when your mind is quiet. So if you are meditating every day, that bliss you are able to enjoy every day. When you fathom into the depth of the bliss every day, there will be no reason for you to take a recourse to any outside element for your pleasure, and it will go away.
Yes, sir. There is a question in the chat box from one of the vice chancellors who is on this Zoom platform. He is asking, could you elaborate the concept of Anandamaya Kosha in simple language?
Well, basically, Anandamaya Kosha is the state in which our mind is having zero thoughts. The perfect Anandamaya Kosha one can observe during deep sleep only. When neither the body is active, nor the sense organs are active, and nor the mind is active. Even in a dream state of sleep, mind is active, body is not active, but mind is active. But in a deep sleep state, which is called Susupti, in Susupti Avastha, you experience perfect bliss every day. Can you imagine the Ananda of a sleep? You don't even know whether you are a doctor or an engineer in your deep sleep. You don't know whether you are an IAS officer or a professor. You don't know whether you are a prime minister or a president of a country. And still you get so much of bliss. That indicates the possibility of Ananda in a silent state. The more you make your mind quieter, the better the quality of bliss you will draw. That is called Anandamaya Kosha.
Dr. G.S. Chauhan, who is a Joint Secretary from UGC. Please go ahead, Dr. Chauhan.
Pranam, sir.
Yes,
Pranam,
please.
sir.
Pranam.
Am I audible, sir? Sir, I am really very happy that you have given very, very important for each and everyone. Really very good talk, sir. Really thankful to Honorable Chairman that he organized a very good lecture. Sir, I am suffering since 20 days. My heart is not functioning very well. And in the meantime, I have usually go to sometimes in depressions. And the thoughts are coming time and again, coming time and again, because a lot of work is going on and I am very sensitive, sir. But you have told so many good therapies. So I will follow your therapy, sir. So right now I am taking some medicines given by the doctors of cardiac arrest, this and that, sir. So the entire thing I am writing, I am going down. I shall be happy if I will get the entire lecture and I go through it. And as you have already told so many good things, I will practice them easily, sir. So I am thankful to our Honorable Chairman, you, that you have done well. And you let me know how this cycle of thoughts which is coming. Sometimes I am not in the position to sleep properly, sir. And in the meantime, I am taking some medicine, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure you will be better with application of some of these techniques.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Right. Professor Suresh Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Hyderabad.
Pranam, sir.
Pranam.
It's really a useful talk. All these 9 to 10 years, I've been practicing yoga on and off. But I was under the impression that I was doing some physical exercise. But today you clarified that it's not, it's indirectly the benefit. Really, it has clarified my doubts, sir. All these years I was thinking yoga is for fitness and just for physical exercise. Maybe we are able to run these universities, and maybe Chairman UGC is able to run the education in the entire country through such good practices. And it's really a useful tip for all of us, sir. As regards yoga at the university, in addition to practicing, I would also like to have it for our students. What we have done is nearly 4 years ago, we appointed one yoga trainer. He's very good. He has been training people. We are not able to attract more number of students. Staff are making the use of this yoga session, but the students we are not able to, because we have the session from 6 to 7 in the morning. The students don't wake up at that time. Can we have these yoga sessions in the afternoon or in the evening anytime, or do they give good results only in the morning, sir? This is my question, sir. Thank you, sir.
You asking which part of the day it is more beneficial?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because morning we are not able to attract the students, and if we can have yoga sessions in the afternoon, in the maybe lunch break or in the evening, late evenings, then many students will be benefited. We have more than 1,000 students on campus, but only 2 or 3 students are turning up.
Well, yoga is beneficial independent of which time you practice it. The question is the students have to be convinced about the philosophy of yoga and how it benefits them. Then only they'll go for it. And as far as asanas are concerned, you should avoid doing any asana for at least 2 to 3 hours after the heavy lunch. Other than that, there are no prohibitions. You can do yoga asanas at 5 o'clock in the evening, 4 hours after your lunch. Or the main part of yoga is not asana. Asana is only to prepare your body to sit steadily when you are meditating. That is the purpose of asana. Because if you are in meditation, if your body is not able to sit straight, or the body is not able to bend properly, and you have a pain in the leg, even if you sit for 10 minutes. So in order to obviate all this possibility, you have to undertake the practice of asana first, and then do pranayam, and then meditation. So meditation is something which is the main part of yoga. It is not the asana. So please ask your students to sit in silence for some time in meditation, and then they will definitely feel the benefit of it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So there is one last question from a professor. He says he practices yoga more or less regularly and is reasonably healthy, but he is not able to motivate his own family members to do yoga, and that's causing stress. So what is the way out?
As I told you it's very difficult to change the world. You can't even change the wall of your house. The question is that let us demonstrate, let us be a model by which people really feel motivated. That here is one individual who has been doing yoga and we see a lot of change in him. If you as an individual have been able to change your personality, and if others are able to notice it, then notice the change, then they will be motivated. But sometimes people do a lot of yoga asanas, but there is no change in their personality. They continue to be irritable, angry, same old personality. Then how will the family members also feel motivated? So the change has to be demonstrated in your personality by adoption of yoga. And once they see this change, then they might be motivated to join. I'm not saying you are not like that. Maybe you already changed your personality. But if you already change your personality, wait for time to come when they will be realizing the benefit of this technique and they will also go for it. But if they don't go for it, leave it to them. Don't force them. Everybody comes with their own prarabdha, with their own karma. And only a particular thing will manifest in their life if it has to manifest. Otherwise, you don't have to tell. By telling anybody, nobody does it. If they are motivated, they'll do it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful lecture. I request Professor Rajneesh Jain to give his concluding remarks, and then we will close the session.
Pranam, sabhi ko namaskar. Thank you so much, Dr. Hasmukh Arya ji, for delivering such a wonderful lecture on stress management and particularly the techniques of yoga, how they help in alleviating the problems which are related with yoga. Now, as you rightly said, that yoga deals with mind and all stress related causes are in our mind. And you mentioned about Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is all about mind, the first sutra says. So I understand that all of us who have joined this platform today and listen to your lecture and tips on how to manage yoga and how to actually manifest yoga in our part of daily life to overcome stress arising out of various aspects of life, maybe our daily routine habits, maybe our lifestyle or our work habits and other things. They'll be properly taken care of and everybody will get benefited and focus better in terms of our performance, our development, growth, and the way we can contribute to society and nation. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us. And I also thank all the Vice Chancellors of Central Universities and other universities who have joined us on this platform and all those viewers who have connected to us through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and other media. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.